Hi, welcome to lesson 16 of Excel. My name is Sophie and I'm going to be your trainer for today. So in the previous video, what we've covered is mainly in the alignment group. Alright, we covered the 6 different fonts and the wrap text and merchant center. Now, if you notice that if my screen is slightly different from the previous video, it's because I've increased the screen resolution so that you can see the words very clearly on my screen. Alright, now all of it is the same. It's just bigger and clearer for you to be able to see it clearly. Okay? Alright, now, so what we're going to do now is we are going to learn more in the number group. Now, for the number group, okay, there is this small arrow located at the bottom right of the group. Now, when I click on it, wait for a bit, there'll be a box that comes out. Now, this is what we call the format cells box. So this is basically the different categories in which we can use to manipulate the numbers. So there are a couple of categories that we need to know for sure. Number one is numbers, which is under the use thousand separator, currency, percentage, date, and also, yeah, basically that's about it. So number, currency, date, percentage, and last but not least is decimal places. So all these are the things that we are going to learn in order for us to manipulate the numbers that we see here. Okay, now let's understand what is thousand separator format. Now let's scroll down a little bit. Now at B14, suppose I have a random number here. Okay, now let's say, another random number here. Okay, now let's say if I would like to go to and change B14 to thousand separator format. Now what it is simply is that it will separate the thousands by putting a comma. So very simply, first things first, I click on B14. Now once I make sure that I'm at B14, where do I go? Number, dialog box. Click on it, a box comes out. Once a box comes out, where do I go next? I click on number. Once there's number, do you see there's a use 1000 separator here? Click on it. Once I make sure there's a tick, straight away I click on OK. Now you notice now that there is a comma here for 8492. Okay, now the decimal place is automatically by default there, so not to worry about it. Okay, now next thing that I would like to cover is same thing. Let's try another example on thousand separator format at B15. So how do I apply thousand separator format at B15? First step, I click at B15. Once I go to B15, I go to number, dialog box. Then where do I go? Under category, I click on number. I click on use 1000 separator. Now once that's done, straight away I click on OK. Now what do you notice? That automatically there is a comma here and there's a decimal place here. So that's what it means by thousand separator format. Okay, so it's pretty direct, yeah? Now next thing that I'd like to go through is the currency format. So you notice that these are just plain numbers. Now let's say if I would like to change these numbers to currency format. First things first, what do I have to do? Highlight B4 to D4. Now once I highlight B4 to D4, very simply, I go to number, dialog box. Now, once I go to number, dialog box, you see there's word currency here. Now, after I click into currency, there's symbol. So I can choose any symbol that I would like to use. So, for example, let's say English UK, pounds, click on it, straight away click on OK. So, you do notice the pounds are clearly written here. And again, decimal place is always automatically placed. So, you do not need to change unless you want to. Okay, alright, so we've covered that. Okay, next thing that I would like to cover is with regards to date. Okay, now, so what is date? Now, so let's say I have a random number here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the question asks you, change D14 to a certain date format. Now, so how do I go about it? First things first, I click on D14. Now, once I click on D14, I go to number dialog box. Now this is where I need to choose. So which category would I like to change? Date, yes. So click on date, choose any type will do. Alright, doesn't matter. Straight away I click on OK. So do you notice that? It changed the date format. Now, when I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't mean it's one. It doesn't mean 1, 2 slash 3, 4 slash 4, 5. There is a specific way in which it can be changed. But for now, we'll leave it as it is. Okay. Now, last but not least, okay, another way for us to change is on the percentage. Okay. Now, let's say if I would like to change the percentage format from B5 to D5 to ensure that it's percentage. First things first, I need to highlight B5, drag all the way to D5. Now, once I highlight B5 to D5, where do I go? Number dialog box. So where do I go? Percentage, yes. After percentage, straight away I click on OK. So do you notice that? That now it is percentage. Now, I'd like to share with you that it doesn't mean that it's 434%. It just means that in percentage format, it times 100%. Henceforth, that's why you see 43400.00%. Okay? Alright, great. Okay, last but not least, okay, under number dialog box, there is this thing that you need to know which is called percentage. The decimal places. So you notice that all the three, most of it has 2 decimal places. But let's say if I would like to change, okay, the number to a different decimal place. So let's say I would like to change B6 to D6 to, maybe B4 to D4 to to 1 decimal place. So what do? First of all, I highlight B4 to D4. Once I highlight B4 to D4, go to number dialog box, 1 decimal place. Do you notice it automatically comes out as decimal places? Highlight it, type in 1. Then straight away click on OK. So you notice now it has only 1 decimal place. Now let's say if I would like to highlight B6 to D6 to 3 decimal place. What must I do? Highlight B6 to D6 first, correct. Then number dialog box. Now where do I go? This is where, since it's not formatted, it's always in number. So 3, do you notice the decimal places here? Highlight, type in 3. Straight away I click on OK. So now you notice that you can change the decimal places as it is. Okay. So far, what have we covered so far? Thousand separator format, date format, currency format, percentage format, and 3 decimal places. So this is what it means by the number formatting. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.